guys. This is Phoenix from Rise Again. I'm here with my boy Jawan and the Minds with Hakeem podcast. I'm sitting down today, just really, honestly, just have a conversation, talk with him, tell a little bit about my story, talk a little bit about experiences I've had, talk about embracing your failures. Just really, I want to drop gems for you guys, man. I just really want to talk with you guys and share some of my experiences, and hopefully you guys can relate. Hopefully you guys can take a couple lessons, little tokens that I'm talking today, man. And I just really, I really appreciate Jawan for having me on, and man, we're gonna talk about so many dope things. We're just gonna talk, man. I'm excited.
Thanks. The Minds with Hakeem podcast will be right back with you guys after we finish thanking our sponsors. All right, so check this out. I know when buying a home for the first time can be a very stressful process. But that's why it's good to give it a good lender like my buddy Jared Nicholson from Key Mortgage Group. He's so active to educate his borrowers and also let people be aware of their blind spots. This is a good man to make your lifetime lender, to make your process super stress-free, and don't be turned off by the housing process. You can follow him and find him at jnhomeloan.com. So let me spell that out for you. jnhomeloan.com. So tap in with him. Jared NMLS number is 1969744. I repeat that. 1969744. All right, podcast listeners, check this out. My guy Phoenix got a podcast that's really good, and you guys should tap in. It's called Rise Again Podcast. It's a podcast where he tells stories of others to help inspire and motivate, and for everyone to just be their best and get in your own skin and be comfy, man. This guy does an awesome job with that platform that he has, getting some of the best minds around the world to come on there and tell their stories. And he also does a great job at facilitating them and telling their stories. This podcast is available every Sunday on all major streaming platforms. Also, don't forget to check in with my boy on social media at Rise Again Create. That's Rise Again Create. Tap in with my boy. Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Minds with Hakeem podcast. I'm here with my brother Phoenix, the host of the Rise Again podcast. Say what's up to the people, bro.
What is good, everybody? How's everybody doing today?
Man, here we go. I've been waiting to do this, man. First and foremost, it's a pleasure to have you on, bro. Appreciate you for coming up here and speak and get that wisdom and get that gain to my people, man. I appreciate that.
Hey, thank you, man, so much for. It's been a dope journey, man. Since meeting and just going from there, working together and everything.
We done had a couple meetings. We done sat down. We done brainstormed some ideas, man. A pleasure to get you in front of my people, man, so they can hear how dope you are, man. But before we get going, obviously, I'm going to check in with the pandemic. How you feeling? How's the family? How's everything with that, man?
Yeah, definitely, man. Everybody's good, man. We're just, kind of getting through it as everybody. It's crazy. It's been a year.
Man, you forget that. Like, for real, it's been a year.
It's felt so long, yet so short at the same time. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, it seemed like everything was cool. Then Rudy Gobert got COVID. And then after that, like, everything.
Rudy Gobert started it, right? Man. He started it all.
Hey,
but we kind of talked about that too in person, man. Yeah. But everybody straight though? Like,
yeah, everybody's good, man. Just, staying healthy physically, mentally. Everybody's good.
That's dope, man. It's a blessing. Like you said, if we wind the clock back, it's been a year and you like, whoa, like where's the time went? Like, yo, like it's crazy. But guess what? We still surviving. We still getting y'all these good gems, and that's what we're gonna do today.
That's all we're doing, man.
Exactly, man. Before we get to you, bro, let's just get into, well, this is kind of you. Let's get into the icebreaker question. Y'all already know how we rocking. What is the best advice someone has ever given you, bro? Like, let us in on that.
I can't remember the exact person, but I've heard it like so many different times, and it's honestly just embracing those failures, right? So I think it's just a lot of times we look at at failures as like really just terrible things, very negative things. And so the best advice I've ever gotten is just really to embrace those things. Whatever is negative or is kind of put on as negative in your life, take those things, turn that into an upside, into a positive, use it as a lesson.
Wow.
Instead of really just kind of feeling bad about those situations. And ever since I kind of got those, and this again from different people.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Ever since I got that, kind of advice or that mindset, it changed my life.
It's crazy, like something can change the mind, like just a perspective, like, yo, like embrace it. You never been told like, yo, that's crazy. Like I love hearing that advice because I feel like that is need to be like recalibrated in my mind, and not only my mind but other people's minds as well. Like, yo, embrace the grind, like embrace the you pick up the pieces, you know.
Exactly.
So that's some dope advice, man. Before we dive into my guy Phoenix questions, I just do want to read a review from my lovely friend Christy. She left us a review on Apple Podcasts. The review goes, "I love this podcast. The subject matter is interesting and full of helpful information, and it is enjoyable to listen to." So, Chrissy, shout out you. Thank you for the review. More people, please. If you want that shout out, leave that review on Apple, YouTube, Spotify. We'll get you. You may be shouted out next episode. I promise. Cool. Back in, man. So I mentioned briefly you are the host of the Rise Again podcast. So just tell us, just let us in on what the podcast is about, bro. Like, set us up for it.
No, definitely. It's wild because a lot of things have been almost a year, right? So I started Rise Again as a whole in about February, March. Yep. First podcast episode was March 15th with the homie Pico the Psycho. And it's crazy, we're almost there, but man, Rise Again podcast is really just I want to create something that basically I could help showcase others, individuals. Our city has so many great people, and our country has so many great people. Everybody, eventually I want to get out to there, but just really talking about our community, we have so many great people here. We need to shine more light on our people. And so that was kind of the idea by it, to shine light on the amazing people we have here.
I love that.
And then inspire and motivate others. So hopefully people who listen to my podcast will hear not only like maybe some of my story, but mainly others' stories, and say, yo, that's dope that they're a photographer. That's dope that they want to become an artist, or they are an artist. That inspires, the next person to go out and, fulfill their dreams, live their dreams.
Yep, and I think what you do a great job as a host too. Just to piggyback off that, it's like when your guests, like just listening and being a student of your podcast and learning from your podcast, your guests, you allow them, like, because like to us they like regular great human beings, but like they're just regular human beings at the end of the day. So you showcase that, and that inspires other people itself who's listening. Like, yo, I could do it if that person is doing it too. I think your show do a great job at setting that culture. Like, I know when I listen and I tap in, like I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like we were just talking about Dylan, 18 years old, the episode that you just did. Like, yo, he's crushing it. He's gonna do great things. We know he's gonna do great things just by me listening to his story on your podcast. Like, so keep doing that, man. I need that personally, selfishly said. So now that you covered the mission and what y'all about, what has been the best part about the podcast since you started? You almost a year in, and also give us the worst right after that.
I think the best part is really connecting and meeting like other people. I've made so many great friendships and just built, just conversations.
Absolutely.
And just amazing things past the podcast. One thing I really love about doing the podcast is like we'll shoot the podcast, right? But then sometimes we'll talk an hour, 2 hours afterwards, just really connecting with whoever comes on and just really just getting to know people. And honestly, just seeing how great our city is. A lot of times in Des Moines, I'm from Des Moines, I'm from the east side. Like a lot of times people kind of don't give a lot of light to the city and everything. So just really meeting new people and seeing how many great people we have. Is just
that's
really
been the best part.
That's been the best part.
That's dope, man. What has been the worst for you? Like, I agree with that too. The best part.
Man, the worst is really, I don't know. Like, they're really, I've enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to really think about the worst part. I mean, man, maybe not being able to do enough podcasts, getting more people on and stuff,
getting them out faster.
I feel bad sometimes when people like will reach out and be like, "Hey, I want to come on," but I have like, and you don't get it. Like,
you got a list. I got to follow this pecking order, man. No disrespect.
Yeah, so I guess that would kind of be like, part that, but overall, it's just really, man, just getting people, talking with people, and I enjoy it, man. It's something I really enjoy to do. So.
Yeah, feelings are mutual. Just thinking out loud, like I think the worst would probably be like, because I got a small knit team, and I know you do too. The worst would be like it's production, like that'll probably be the worst part. But it's been absolutely amazing, like you said, like the communications and the relationships that you built. I personally like interviewing people I don't know at all better. Like, no disrespect to the people that I know, like. That's why, like, building this relationship with you, I was excited to get you up here because we just met each other.
Yeah.
Like, we can build. Like, I feel like it's more easier. I can talk to my people I know easier, but, like, I'm like, when we on camera, there's so many things that I don't know about you.
Exactly.
Like, question will pop up, and I'm like, bam, let me get that to him.
Yep.
That's been the funnest part, too.
That's the major thing. I guess that's another thing I really like about doing this is I'm very curious about people as well. Like, what inside of their minds, like, makes them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
And so when those things pop up, because you get it, like, we'll write something down where this is the couple things we want to go over. I tell every single person that I have on, it's like, okay, this is a topic list or this is a question list of what I'm thinking about or what I thought about before you came on. But wherever the conversation goes, whenever we're talking, and whenever you see those moments, it's just it's cool to think, or similarities too. When you're talking with somebody, it's like, oh, I didn't know you're from here, or I didn't know you've been there before.
I didn't know you knew that person.
Yeah.
It's a small world.
It is.
It's a small world, and podcasts has showed me that even more. So, do you think we need more podcasts today, bro?
Yes, I think so. I think I'd love to see more people really just use their platform to do whatever they want to do. And it doesn't even have to be what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, sports podcasts, music podcasts, there's even like...
You could start a kitten podcast, anything. Bro. Like,
I think the ability that we have today to be able to talk about anything we want to talk about and have a platform to do that is really great. And it's I listen to podcasts all the time, honestly.
Same.
Like, between just kind of self-help and things like that. But I'm also big into like sports podcasts or like listen about all that. Like, I think podcasts are dope. I think it's a dope idea. It gives the people who wanted to be on the radio or like people who listen to radio all the time to be their own hosts.
I think, I agree with you 100%. Like, and I think the best part about why we need more podcasts is because a lot of people like to storytell. Yeah. This is the best place to storytell. Like, it creates the most outreach for you. You can grow this thing as big as you want it. All you got to do is believe in what you're talking about and go. Another problem my fiance have with podcasts is she say, some people podcast, they just need a journal. I'm like, hey, maybe that's true, but we can't put that cap on them anymore. Like, let it out. I think we need to tell them more too. So a few things I wanted to get you on here and talk about, man. One of the biggest one was I want you to help us today with brand awareness. Like, and I hit you up about it, obviously, because I'm a fan of your brand and what your podcast bring. You bring so much more, but this is one big one. So falling into the brand awareness side of things, building a brand is something like that. People just flat out struggle with it. Yeah. Like, they just flat out struggle. So what has been some things you struggle with in building brands that you've built in the past or currently building now, and what has been the things that work for you?
Yeah, brands are tough, man. It's really super. It's to get stuff off the ground is really hard, and I've been fortunate enough to have really great people around me that have helped and got me, and I still like have goals I want to reach and everything. But honestly, I think some of the struggles were consistency. That's definitely one thing. It's, we all have personal lives.
Gotta be consistent.
You have to be consistent. And whether it's posting, whether it's, sharing your content, whatever you got going on, the consistency behind it is
keep putting it in their face.
Because if people are going to see it more, they're going to, look at it more, they're going to check you out more. And that's definitely, that was a struggle at first, and still is from time to time, because obviously we have things happen and everything. But I think really being consistent is what's helped me grow my brand so much. And authenticity, and it's really being authentic and true to yourself. A lot of everything I post
that's
is.
A good one. Hold up, we got hands up for that one. Oh man, be authentic. Yes, sir. Good job, brother. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you out.
Good. I was waiting for it.
There you go. You got yours.
Hey, but,
So what has been some things that you struggle with? Should I say?
I think definitely consistency was one, but. Finding the idea that I wanted to, like, basically, or how I wanted to pursue everything, because there's so many different ways you can go about it. There's different forms of media that you can use. There's just everything about it was really tough. So really zeroing in on what your message wants to be. That was another thing too. Is at first I knew exactly kind of what I wanted to do, but I didn't know the messages I wanted to show people. Or every single season I do the podcast, I have kind of a overlying theme of what I want the message to be.
Okay.
And so this past season's kind of been like trying to find like purpose in life. Like, what's our purpose? What's your purpose? What are you looking to fulfill? Past like your goals, what's your purpose? And so really trying to find those messages was tough at first, because there's so many different ways a podcast and the conversation can go at that. And so really trying to get that kind of figured out was definitely very tough. Just ways I really solved it was I write a lot. I'm a big note taker, like notepads, all that kind of stuff. So in my iPhone notes, definitely.
They fill the gems.
Yeah.
Might have to get you to share that with. No, I'm just playing.
I needed
we can't give them secrets
storage, It's man.
For real.
Writing stuff down is important, man. I think once you see it, then you want to do it. You want to try to achieve it.
So, and that kind of leads into my next question that I have for you. So, like, honing like ideas and stuff like that. What writing is the best way like that works for you?
For me, I really like to write. Every kind of month, day, just really depends. Like I have like notebooks, and then of course like just phone that I use. Whenever I come up with an idea or think about it, I have to write it down, or at least put it somewhere. It can be on a notebook, it can be on my iPhone, and like sometimes there's random messages in my iPhone notes that make no sense to anybody, but
you get it. You get it.
I got to do that one day, but I think writing really will help. I think practicing. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, practice, makes perfect. And they always say. I mean, there's countless quotes about practicing, but I think really practicing your craft and working on your craft will not only make you better at what you're trying to do, but it's just so much fun to keep on working and see that process. Because when you start at somewhere and you're working on your process, when you get to that top, when you get to where you want to reach, you're gonna look back and be like, damn, I really worked on.
Man, I covered some ground. Look, hold up, more hand claps. Yup, there we go. He got him again. So check this out. I want y'all to just hear him out like for a second. Like, I don't care if you do lawn care. I don't care if you do hair. I don't care if you do podcasts. I don't care if you sell clothes. Like these are all like equally important. Like what he's saying. Like you can take this and implement all of this into everything that y'all doing. Like, our goal is to help y'all get unstuck and to learn. Like you learn from somebody who's really doing it. So we're gonna jump back towards authenticity. The word you said, I like when you said that. Like that got me excited. Because I think you could tell, like, if somebody doing something that's not authentic. You can read it. Like, I see people on social media sometimes and they do some stuff, and I'm like, that's not really you. And I can see it through the camera. So, explain the importance of being authentic within your brand, whether it's whatever you're doing. Like, explain, like, because, like, we live in a copycat area.
Yeah.
Like, so if $1 million worth of game podcast doing something, I'm going to go I can't afford that.
Yeah, exactly.
I just can't. So it's gonna be not authentic when you see me trying to do what they doing. So explain the importance of authenticity when you replicating your own brand, like you're doing your own brand.
I think it starts with identifying, who you are and who you want to be, and then finding, like, again, like you said, it could be anything that you want to do. For me, it was I wanted to show myself as much as, be vulnerable. On top of that, just showcase my personality, who I am. And honestly, you can do that with anything. It doesn't have to be a podcast. You can showcase that in your lawn care business. You can showcase that like by the name, the design, what you're doing, how you present yourself when you're, approaching customers, this and that. Like, I think just really being truly authentic in yourself is definitely the start. But I think really just ways you can do it is, like I said, really focus on who you are and what you're about. There was always like a thing in like sales and stuff is basically, I try to, when you're talking with somebody, talk to them like your family. You know what I mean? Like they're your friends. Don't look at them as customers, this and that. I think that's a business thing that a lot of people could use. And then when you look at your brand, the authentic, just really looking at everything. And like you said, on social media, you can see so many different people and how they're doing stuff.
Absolutely.
For me, it was like, man, I just want to be me. I just want to be me, and I have fun being me. I love myself, and that's really
And we're going to make it work.
Yeah, we're going to make it work.
It's
and
just that simple.
The other thing is big, and I just had a conversation with somebody about this, is, man, follower count, a lot of people get lost in, right?
Yes.
And they'll look at, oh, man, that person has 10,000 followers, or this person has
engagement.
And it's like, man, I'd rather have 300 people that ride for me than 10,000 that don't even know me or don't even care. They just hit the follow button.
You got to be authentic.
Exactly. And that's what will bring it, because then when you're authentic, then you get organic follow. And
when you authentic, you get our organic following. Like, yo, I love more hand claps. Yeah, need that. Yes, sir. Like, no, that makes 100% sense. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, finish your statement.
No, you're good. It's just that's what I want, at least.
Yeah.
Is I want to be authentic to my listeners, the people who view me, the people who see me, and I want that organic feedback. I want that organic following back, because, man, it really means a lot when I'll have people message me and they're like, hey, checked out the podcast. Hey, checked out this. And they're truly like, they enjoy it. Or I like that one-on-one versus, and, you know, I hope to get to a point where I do have, you know, whatever amount of followers, but it's all organic. You know,
they gotta be invested in Rise Again.
I'm big on the building too.
Yeah.
Like, I want to build everything that I started. I want to build that.
Absolutely.
I think people should do the same.
And I think your social media account, like, and then me just meeting with you on multiple occasions, you are that person I see on social media. So keep doing what you're doing in that aspect.
Appreciate that.
But I'm finna ask you something, and I'm gonna give one too. So we gonna give one secret that we do for marketing our brand, and I'm gonna steal yours. So I hope you steal mine. But we gonna share it with the world if you don't mind. So, what's your one secret, one of your many secrets that you do to market your brand that works for you authentically, that you can help, that anybody could probably do?
One thing I do that I think helps a lot is, for instance, again, it doesn't matter what you do, but Instagram, let's just speak on that for a second, right? I care about how my grid looks. I think visually, we're visual. A lot of people are visual. So when I'm looking at how I'm doing it, I'm not placing things just
everywhere, sporadic.
The colors are like that.
Coordination.
To me. There's how I put it, present everything like
huge.
in one spot. Yeah.
Huge.
Hashtags. Like a lot of times people want to put the most simple hashtags that have like millions of things.
Go get the weird ones.
I look for the weird ones. I look for the smaller ones. I create my own hashtags. So then it's the little, like, if you notice, every single post I do is, there's like 3 I use, is hashtag Rise Again Create, Des Moines, and Iowa. Because a lot of times people who are looking in our own community, they're going to look and they're like, oh, who's this? Oh, he's from the city.
He's doing the podcast.
I'm going to check that out. Oh, there's another person I know from the city and this and that. Like, so whatever city you're in, wherever you're listening and watching,
connect the dots.
Connect with your city and your community. And connect with your social in the community, because if you're going through the national kind of side, like, of course we want to reach people everywhere.
Yeah, but how you gonna reach people everywhere when you can't win your city first?
And it goes back to authenticity and the organic, because then other people will share your stuff. And that's another thing. Like, I gotta, man, hats off to, and just thank you so much to everybody who's really shared my stuff.
No, for real,
because it helps.
That's appreciated. This for y'all. That's for the crowd who share Rise Again, for real.
Because it helps people see it. People will message me and be like, hey, I saw so-and-so share this. And again, it goes that word of mouth. The
word of mouth is the best marketing there is. Like, so like my I hate to call him a cameraman. My brother, Marquis, is, me and him converse a lot. Yeah. If he send me something and say, yo, check this out, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to check it out. That's word of mouth. Like, that's still the strongest marketing. Like, so if you get one person new that got respect from a lot of people, they can get you a whole new flock of people on your brand. Like, yo, if they invested in that person, they're going to invest in you because he invested in you. I think that's huge. Like, I'm glad you went up with that. But hope y'all heard him, like, the color coordination of your Instagram, your feed, your Twitter, your Facebook. Make sure you checking in on that. Don't just be throwing up no random stuff when you're building a brand.
Grids, when you're looking at it, like when you're really taking a look at your Instagram, and it could be for people who want to be, influencers and everything. Really use those 3 grids, and really, because when you look at your Instagram,
playoff threes.
Yeah, playoff threes, because I can put an orange pic here of myself. An orange, like, I just went to this, dope restaurant. Let's, kind of get a little orange feel to it. And then maybe one other thing, promoting yourself. Just saying on the influencer side, but anything. Just, like, really coordinate those grids.
No, absolutely. And then you had another hashtags.
Hashtags, yeah.
Don't just go for the big hashtags, guys. Like,
Get lost in the sea. You gotta use those weird ones. Yeah.
Yep, use them weird ones like he said. Find ones that work for your niche. If you're doing tomatoes, try to add tomatoes with something. Like, yo, it doesn't matter what you do. Yeah, hashtag bright tomato. Some good stuff like that. So appreciate you sharing them secrets. I'm definitely gonna factor that in on my game. But I'll share one. And this one I think will work for anybody, no matter what you do. And this word has a negative connotation to it now, which is crazy to me. But be a fan. I'm a fan of people. Like, so I got this thing, like I learned this from this guy named Russell Bronson. Me and Marquis was learning from. What he did to grow like his stuff, his things that he do. He are a fan of the people who's in his field that's not crushing it, that's crushing it on a city level scale, that's crushing it on a worldwide scale. He a fan of all three levels. Like, yo, if your podcast, like say I'm a podcaster, if your podcast I think is dirt trash, I'm still gonna listen to it, give you that view, and talk to you, DM you, give you some words of encouragement. And also, if I feel like you're on the level where you get in the city and you booming, we can still be friends and we can grow each other. And also, if you're better, like the top Joe Rogan, be a fan of those people. And so what I do is for marketing, like, and it doesn't matter what field you're in is, I hit people up all the time personally. Like, yes, I've sent stuff to Joe Rogan, like emails, like, yo, do you got a P.O. box? I'm trying to send you something from the Minds podcast. Mm-hmm. That marketing is top notch because it's hit or miss, but imagine how far like my podcast would go if Joe Rogan opened up a Minds podcast package on his next YouTube. Like, you don't understand how far that would go. Like, that is a really sleeper gem. So if you're doing hair and you know somebody in Atlanta or Houston that's way better than you, send them a free package. Use your marketing dollars for that. Like, people just think marketing got to go straight into their brand. No, your marketing can go into other people's brand, and those other people will get you farther than what your marketing dollars can do on your brand. Like, that's huge to be a fan, spend money for other people, because people like fans. And if you and the thing about like being popular authentically is, if you know one person, you in. Mm-hmm. All you need is one. Yeah. Like, all you need is Joe Rogan to post your podcast, and you in.
That's true.
You in. Now you on $1 million worth of game. Now you here. Now your face is there. So be a fan. Don't think it's a negative word. Are you a fanboy or a fangirl? Be a fan of people in your field that's crushing it, not crushing it, and crushing it, and at the middle level, the level that they ain't blue on yet. Like, be a fan of those people. I think that's extremely important. All right, cool. You had any final remarks on brand awareness before we jump into failure real quick?
I think it's truth right there with the, being a fan. Telling people, like, you look at these people with the blue checks, right, on social media. Like, I think it's like such a status that people are so afraid to go reach out to them. Mm-hmm. What's the worst? You send a message, you send something to them, like, hey, can I send you something? Usually half the time, if they do see it, they're going to be like, well, yeah, it's free. Like, of course, like, send it to me.
P.O. box.
Yeah, exactly. It's as simple as that, and just really reaching out. And then for the people that, are maybe simmering, let's say, like they haven't blown up yet, they haven't hit that boil point. I think reaching out to them as well and just being like, hey, like,
treat them the same.
We can all learn from everything.
Treat them the same.
We can learn from the top person. We can learn from the people that haven't, started or got bumped up yet. So
I think that goes into like the janitorial approach. Treat the janitors how you would treat the CEO. I treat them all the same, bro. Like, everybody the same. Yeah. Seriously. But let's jump into failure, bro, because just talking with you kind of like got some experience of picking yourself up and dusting yourself off. Which you kind of hit on to that in your the best advice someone has ever given you. So we got a little sneak peek. So can you give us a time, like, just like where, like, business wise, where you really put your heart to something and you failed, and then how did you get out of that? What worked for you?
Man, I think, there's definitely a few times. One honestly kind of recently had, which was we did besides the podcast, I sell vintage. That's like my main business and everything. And so,
how long you been doing that?
Like 2016 is when I officially started. Okay. And then I joined with my homie Bowie. So shout out to Bo.
Shout out Bo. Hold on. Let's show him some love. Yes, sir.
we started the archive together, and so we came together and started selling vintage everything, and we were selling vintage over at Illis Around, which was a sneaker store here. Shout out to Alan and Justin and everybody. And
yes, sir. We show love here.
It was the people, man. Those are people that helped me throughout my life of starting all this. You know what I mean? And so we got into the shop. We're selling vintage at the shop, doing amazing things, and then unfortunately, the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And because of that, we ended up having to close, and there was things with a bunch of other things, but the main reason we ended up having to close. And so it was that moment when I was in a shop, I was in a store. It was something I always wanted, was to be involved in my community and providing stuff for the community as well, through vintage, whether it's through that. And so when that closed in June of last year, it's kind of that moment where it's like, all right, what do we do now?
Devastated.
What do you do? And even though that was Illis Around, but in the back it was still the archive. That was still part of our story. Illis was still part of me. And so when that happened, it was like, man, what do you do? And so I took a couple of weeks off, everything, took off social media, everything. And I was like, man, really, where do I go from here? And so I took that L not as a loss that's gonna completely change my life to what can we do now? All right, we're in a pandemic. We can't open up a store right now. It's not gonna work. For the most part. And so what can I do to really get the business back going? What can I do to sustain this, this income and stuff that helps pay the bills and everything?
Yep.
So started doing online, and that was the major thing that happened, was just really selling online and taking the disadvantage or the loss that people, that's a loss for somebody.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But for me, it's just a lesson. It's seeing, okay, this happened. The shop closed. It's unfortunate, things happen. Okay, what did I learn from this? I learned that I had a blast, working at it and doing this shop for 2 years.
Yep.
I met so many different people. I met future people that are going to shop from us and everything. And now let's just take it online and still be a part of the community, because we're still delivering to people. We're still, shipping stuff out, even in Des Moines, trying our best to do everything. And so I think really just learning that, quote unquote loss, or that, failure in business.
Yeah.
Basically taking it as a lesson, not a failure.
Yeah,
that's the mindset.
That's huge.
That's the switch that you have to do.
That's huge. And I think you say the mindset. Excuse me. It's about the way you looked at the situation. You got dealt a certain deck of cards. That's life, y'all. Yeah. And it wasn't the deck you asked for.
Exactly.
So, but you guys still turned out to do something in the midst of the pandemic and stay afloat. I think that's the thing. We get a lot devastated when we take a loss or a L, but people forget that life starts with an L. Yeah. I'm that's life. It's a part. It's gonna come full circle. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. So as far as failure go, when you fail again in the future, which we all will fail, unfortunately. What are some things that you do to set yourself up to fail forward instead of failing into a slump? Because it's easy. As far as mental health wise go. So what are some things? What do you do in your environment to get yourself to fail forward? If I fail, okay, I'm gonna embrace it, move on.
First of all, it's acceptance. A lot of times there's so much denial with your failure. There's denial that no, it wasn't that big of a deal, or this didn't happen, or this didn't happen. We deny it. We deny a lot of those things. So accepting that happened, or whatever happened in your life happened, really starting that is the start for the growth, is the start for the process.
Boom.
And so once you start to accept, you gotta really not be hard on yourself as much. I think we're our worst critic, right? We are very critical. We would say things to ourselves that we wouldn't say to others. I can't believe you failed this. You're telling yourself this. And so when you're really, when you start to kind of take this time not to put yourself down as much, but lift yourself up, hey, you did this right, even though this happened, but you killed this. You did this right. You did this, and start putting those positive thoughts in your head.
The tongue is powerful, bro.
It is. And the craziest part about it is you can say stuff to people and try to uplift others, but if you're not uplifting yourself, then whatever you're saying is not going to help. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help them. It's not going to help anyone.
It's not. No, I agree with you 100%, man. I appreciate that spiel. I learned something from it just listening to you on set, man. Definitely want to keep unpacking failure for you guys. But Phoenix, before I let you get out of here, man, I gotta open it up to you about some community stuff. So what you have? I know we kind of talked about it. I wanna put you in on the spot call of action for you. Do you have some things you plan on doing for the community coming up? I know you work with a lot of guys who crushing it. And shout out those guys and stuff like that. And you just around a good circle. So talk about some community stuff coming up for you, man. We got to end that on that positive note for the people.
Definitely. First of all, thank you for having me on, man. I
Most
really
certainly, bro.
appreciate it always. And man, just I care a lot about this community, man. I'm from here. I've lived here my whole life and everything. And one thing I really care about is these kids, man. The youth. Our next generation is so important, you know. And so whatever I've gone through in my life and everything, I want to make sure that I can help like the kids and basically get them to a point where they can do whatever they want and have that mindset that we can do whatever we want. And so I plan, man, to work with a lot of great organizations. That's one of my goals this year is just to help as much as I can, work with others,
man.
And serve, exactly. Just, man, serve
absolutely,
our great
bro.
youth and uplift the youth and work with people. I've talked with Emily Lane from Movement 515. Man, shout out to Emily. And,
shout out E. Did you just have her on?
Yeah, just had
she
her on.
Was super dope.
Amazing person. Really is dope what she does, and that's an inspiration. And we need more people like Emily. And I want to be personally, a person like her, and just really start to care about the youth in our community. So that's the question I'm asking myself, and hopefully that's a question from this that people are asking themselves as well. Is like, what can we do to help? And what can we do to help our community? And that's why I've been asking myself, and that's what I look to do, man. Just really anything from teaching the youth to organizing drives, everything. Like, that's all the stuff I want to do, man.
Easy.
I'm looking for it.
Just give your time, man. Y'all hear the man, bro. Like Phoenix, bro, we appreciate you for coming on. For those of you looking to serve, he just gave you like 10 quick, easy ways to serve. It's not hard. And you can do it authentically, bro. But COVID handshake.
Hey, where we at? There we go. Here we go.
We made it work.
Hey, we made it work.
Appreciate you for coming on, brother.
Yes.
Keep doing your thing on Rise Again podcast. It's been beautiful partnering with you, bro. It's easy to work with somebody who is open and honest and unapologetically themselves as you, bro. So keep doing the amazing things that you're doing, man. And from the Minds with Hakeem to Rise Again, we respect you. We love you. Keep doing what you're doing. We need your content. I don't know when the last time you heard that, so I'm the last time right now. But thanks for coming on, bro. And that wraps up another episode of the Minds with Hakeem podcast. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button below and also hit that subscribe button and share this with a couple friends, man, so they can learn a little bit today, man. Peace.